Hey folks, my name is Walt, and this is Sci-Fi Writers playing old school D&D, and we got just an absolute thrill ride for you today, starting off with Big Benny, played by James. How are you, sir?
Very fine, thank you for asking. I hope you're good too.
I'm trying to stay out of trouble. We got Lieutenant Mike, being played by CJ.
Greetings. This is my D20. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Please take an additional 25 experience points for that.
Oh, there we go.
Very nice. We have Wilbur Aloysius being played by Mike.
Howdy, howdy. I was going to tell you guys a time traveling joke, but you guys didn't like it.
And also, you may take 25 for the excellent joke.
Oh my, that was funny.
J-Mac playing Sergeant Crowley.
I'm doing well. I'm ready to kill some zombies. Let's
Right
go.
on. And speaking of zombies, we have Lieutenant Rick James being played by JR.
Insert something witty here.
Not bad. You get 15 experience points. Nick Cole said he is running a few minutes late, so he will join us post haste, and we're going to get this thing going. Let's see, we got all sorts of chats going on there. We got I can feel the ground rumbling. That's probably from the extra loud music that we play when we jump in here. That's Lord Daly is saying that. Sanokin saying afternoon all. Let's see, and Rick James dances on. Let's see. Knight of Barsoom is saying, am I the only one who realizes the Rip It from book 2 is most likely made from orc butt? No, man. No, I can't tell you where it's being made because, you know, they what do you call it? That would ruin it. So it's really weird. We got excellent connection. We got all sorts of craziness going on, but Twitch is saying that nobody is watching. I do not know how to handle this. However, I'm going to give us our recap, and unless somebody else wants to do it for, say, a little bit of XP. No one. God.
Never volunteer. Haven't you learned that?
Bad decisions were made. People died. We're not dead yet, so we rock on.
All right. So, yes.
There was an eyeball eaten.
There was an eyeball eaten.
Benny is now the one-eyed man.
No, I'm not.
So when we last left our intrepid heroes, hey, Sparky6868 saying booyah. When we last left our intrepid heroes, they were cornered at the bar at the end of town for Reedmarsh Landing, which is the trading post that they had landed in. The entire town seemed to have shown up and were in a state of trance when they were attacked by people who had materialized out of the blood of some of the fallen townspeople. After a quick battle with the kind of like the zombified crowd, another person showed up and caused a tidal wave that was going to slam our heroes into the beach. They made their way out. And with Benny acting as lookout, the rest of the party went to an alcove where a lighthouse fort remained in a state of disuse. They settled in place, only to be chased by zombies coming from the muck and mire of the now spent tidal wave. After several minutes of really intense fighting, the boys managed to pull out all the stops. Drinking down the Tree Titan potion that you guys have been imbibing in an attempt to heal your injuries. At one point, Big Benny had his eye and some of his cheek ripped off by one of these zombies, but hopefully it's getting into. Oh, speaking of getting into, we have Chaos Actual joining us playing.
Hooray! Let the fun begin.
And so as we ended our session from last time, there was an explosion from Benny's backpack, scattering our friends all over the beach. So with that being said, all of the zombies are down. You guys aren't seeing any of these things moving. They have collapsed into the beach and aren't doing much of anything. You guys are mostly on this walkway of the lighthouse fort, and The two over here, which is Benny and JR, are kind of down and blown apart. However, the tree potions that they had taken to help heal with their injuries has them kind of like writhing. It's pulling plant matter from in and around the ground to kind of seal up the massive holes. Both Benny and JR, when the smoke cleared, looked like the Terminator from Terminator 2 after Sarah had taken to the shotgun with him. What are you guys doing?
We'll be back.
Yeah, while they seem to be healing. Anybody?
So I'm kind of wondering, do we still have a dwarf out there hiding in the rocks?
You haven't seen him for a few minutes, so you don't know whether or not he's still there. When J-Mac was throwing tons of grenades that way, there was no response, so to speak. It was just like pounding the beach with explosive after explosive, and there wasn't a body that raised up. There wasn't anything. So what are you guys going to do?
I think you mean tickling the beach.
Yeah, because there was a couple of misspent shots, right? Yeah, we don't judge. What are you guys doing while they're seemingly healing?
I'm going to organize the 240 team to sort of like survey the sectors, and then I'm going to look for an entrance into this place.
All right. Yeah, there is. If you guys go to the extremes on both sides, because you guys are kind of on the roof. There is an entrance that is. Let me move you over. There's an entrance over here, over by the cannons on that rampart. And then if you go back to the main fort, there's entrances in the corners where
Okay.
you guys can go down and make your way into the fort.
Let's pull back to the main fort and set up the 240 team on the roof to kind of surveil everything, and let's go down in and look around.
All right. The team pulls back. They kind of work with the rest of you to kind of haul Benny and Lieutenant Rick James back to that main section of the roof because they are messed up. It looks like the potions are doing its job, where all these vines are kind of meshing and wrapping back to kind of repair them, but it looks like it's going to be a hot minute. They took some massive damage.
So they're not like Mr. Potato Head, like exploded. You know, they're still in one piece, but barely.
But the pieces aren't shaped the way it should be. It was kind of like you made a dude with Play-Doh and then you ripped him in half and left him one little bit to kind of keep them together.
Has Benny lost his eye?
It's really hard to tell because the vines
that's
are
not the proper attitude, Nick Cole.
Well, he hasn't lost it. We know exactly where it is.
Oh,
yeah, it's in that dude's stomach.
Zombie's got to eat too.
Yeah, so the what do you call it? You have you can see the vines and plant matter wrapping those areas to repair. So, but you can't really tell what's going on yet because it hasn't finished its work.
I just kind of wonder when that potion wears off, what's going to be left.
yeah, I kind of wonder that too.
Right now, it seems to be like imagine like the vines are crawling across, kind of like in the Stephen King, the one where he's the author, The Shining. It's kind of like the vines in The Shining crawling across the maze. He's kind of split in half, and his arm is down by where his hip is, and the vines are crawling across and bringing that section of the body back. And starting to re-knit everything back together. He doesn't look like he's in pain, so that's a bonus, which seems to be an effect of this particular potion. You guys leave them on the roof with the machine gun team, and then you go into the fort.
We do.
All right. It's very dusty, very damp and musky. Because there are some holes in the wall. I mean, it wouldn't take much to repair the place, but it's definitely been exposed to the elements for quite some time.
Okay. No loot, no treasure.
Nah, everything that looks like on this particular floor, everything that looks like it would be of value was all on the roof.
Okay. Let's continue to search down and maybe find like a dungeon or something.
Yeah. Lord Dalius is saying, is it just me or does Walt have some creepy imagery stuck in his head, like The Shining indeed? So
Given my high constitution of 13, 13, am I healing quicker than normal, maybe? Can I roll for that?
no, it doesn't look like it. It looks like standard regeneration, which is a hit point per 10 minutes.
So I'll just roll around on the ground moaning. Don't mind me, guys.
No, they walked right over you. It was fine.
As you do.
J Max making fun of me. He's like, oh, Stephen King book, huh? The one with the author? Yeah, there's a couple of them. So there's another. You got the main hall, which seems to be combination barracks and like equipment racks and stuff like that. Everything's pretty much empty. Bed frames are there, but most of them are broken. There's another door in the bottom that leads to it's got like a ladder instead of a set of stairs. You climb down there, and that was the exit that brought JR to the very bottom where those cannons are.
Okay.
So there's that right there. And so you come out at the very bottom just like this. So the fort seems very simple, mostly like a barracks.
Okay.
And what do you call it? Provisioning for troops so that they can run the lighthouse and use this place as like an early warning system, and then to refill ships that are passing by and going through Reedmarsh Landing. Okay.
Well, then I think what we should do is have our ship come in and transfer all these cannons onto it.
All right. The dagger team tells you that if they fire off a flare, the ship knows to look out for it, and they'll come.
Let's do it.
Crowley's already firing off a flare.
Yeah,
Cannons,
really.
pirate ship, let's go.
All right. So you guys start collecting the cannons, rolling them up. CJ was the only one who had the potion, who had taken the potion, who wasn't that badly injured. He can help you with the cannons, and so can Lamb, your giant golemoid friend. After about 20-25 minutes worth of work, the ship comes to that side, and they start trying to sidle up to that side and get you guys to cross-load things. As that happens, a woman with a hood on. She's wearing kind of like lacquered armor with some cloaks underneath it, and she's got a guy that looks kind of wispy with her. He's got a beard with like these long braids leading off the side with kind of like rune encrusted beads in them. They walk out along with Cam, your first mate, or he will be once you promote him. And Cam gives you a hey, come here for a second. I need to talk to you.
I hear there's also a vacancy in the Master Sergeant department.
Funny, JR. Very funny.
You're gonna, do you go up and see what he wants?
I do.
He comes up and your translator thing starts barking and doing its job, and he says, we had some visitors while we were in the other cove. Doesn't seem to be bad, but she says she needs to talk to you.
Well, bring her on, and let's transfer all this stuff, and let's transfer our wounded and make sure that they're all okay. I mean, don't put them in my specially cleaned captain's cabin, but give them like a nice coil of rope.
Oh, lay them on something comfortable, but not too comfortable.
Yeah, and splash lots of salt water on the Big Benny. That'll help him with his injury.
Oh my God!
As you know, the crew starts hopping to and getting their things going. They're a little off put initially by the giant tree people.
Right.
They managed to get everybody transferred over, and as that happens, the woman and her companion walk up, and they say, You are the pirate captain?
I am the captain of the Cyclops Whore. Yes. Piracy on request.
The guy has this like little notebook, and he's like, Cyclops whore? Really? Like, how do you spell that? You know, and he's kind of like rummaging through a book. And she says, we were very worried when the bitter pigeon landed in the Eyrie. We became concerned that your expedition was lost. We had received word from Captain Armiger that you were traveling this way and that you were making a stop there in Reedmarsh Landing. However, the bitter pigeon landing was a dire warning to us, and so the Eyrie sent us out. And then she like lifts her chin, very like proud of what she's just said, almost like she expects you to know what she's talking about.
Yes. Well, it seems the words you have made mean something to someone not me.
The guy kind of like sidesteps her, and he says, "May I touch that?" And he's like pointing to the wrist comm on your phone, on your wrist.
Sure, touch away. Bask.
So he starts playing with it, and it starts going through different languages, and he seems astounded. And as she begins to talk again, it's running through different languages so that you're getting like only fifth word of what she's saying.
Okay.
And then she stops again as though you absolutely know exactly what she's talking about.
All right. What is she talking about?
You have no idea because you could only understand every fifth word. Because he keeps playing with the interface.
Yes. Yes, we still have no idea what she means. Like, does he understand me?
She flicks his ear, and he like looks down at what he's doing, looks at her, manages to get an understanding, and then he turns your palm over and he traces what feels like a letter, but you really can't place it. And he says, "Can you understand me now?"
I can understand you now. And I guess an important question for me is, how comely is she?
She, this doesn't look like deployment rating. This is like back home rating. So she's at least, if the scale is 1 to 10, she's probably a 14 or 15.
Well, I think
Nick will try to interface with her.
excellent. Then I will begin to understand her as best as I can.
You can understand them both now.
Okay, good.
And it's coming like it's like like the old Japanese monster movies. Their mouths are moving, but the words coming out that you're hearing is in your language.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, my gorgeous lass, let's start from the top again.
She says, "Do you know what the bitter pigeon is?"
No.
Okay. Let me explain. And then he like gives her a
where
look.
you dance?
She and she says, "No, we're definitely not dancing."
It's like the Spanish fly.
She says the bitter pigeon is a safety measure for ports that are easily attacked by pirates or errant weather. It is a messenger bird that carries a note that says only the word doom. So we know when a bitter pigeon lands in whatever port, we know to come investigate. She says, I am one of the lead priestesses for a group called the Eyrie. And we were sent here to help you along to your journey down south.
How does she know where the pigeon came from?
Are you there, and were you able to ask her that?
That's a good question. I figured I was shadowing Chaos Actual.
Gotcha.
Chaos Actual tuned out when you said help on the journey down south.
That's all you could focus on at that point.
After that, I was out.
Knight of Barsoom is saying orcs store the bitter pigeon in their no spaces. It could be possible. And KTF Fiend is calling you the interface specialist. She says the bitter pigeon, each pigeon is marked with a band telling you what port it's originally from.
Right. And I'm guessing that you got a bitter pigeon from Reedmarsh Landing.
Yes.
That's
And
because the voodoo dwarves attacked.
and you see she looks concerned. He looks like he's going to pee himself.
Don't worry, we fucked him up.
And he says, did you fuck them up good?
We did. We ventilated one dude right in the water, and he sank like a little pillow.
Ventilate? Like
we shot him a bunch with a 240.
I was with you until you used those numbers.
We shot him a lot with our boomsticks.
That's fantastic.
His body's probably out in the surf.
This guy reminds you of like every like super video game nerd, and not like the EA Sports types that televise their stuff.
Right.
This is the guy that like spent thousands of dollars to set up a LAN so his buddies could come over to his mom's house and play.
Encyclopedia Brown.
Yes, and she says, "Well, we're not safe here because if the Loa Hagim were the ones who attacked you, then we need to get out of here because they will be back."
Well,
okay.
if you would both board my ship, and you may have my cabin, young lady, and I'll be along shortly to help you relax.
She says, "I would rather remain on the deck," and she says, "But we are here to assist you in your journey south."
All right. Well, we're transferring these cannon so that we can, and that's going to take some rope and tackle and muscle, but we've got Lamb there, and you are a priestess. One of our more recalcitrant members has been badly wounded. Is there any way that you can barely heal him?
Is he the one who has taken some of the Tree Titan potion?
Yes.
Then he must. That must run its course first.
Okay. Well, let's get him transferred, and then we'll do all that.
Lord Dalius wants to know: is canon a euphemism for interface?
Oh boy, it is.
Don't forget the magic rammer. Now that's not an interface reference, by the way. Literally just the rammer. That's also Nick's stage name, but we won't talk about that.
So you guys get all of your supplies and stuff like that. Do you take all of the cannon materials, like the shot and stuff like that?
Yeah. We're gonna create a magazine. I'll tell Lamb, like, you're almost promoted to first mate. You're just like 2 or 3 steps away. Now I need you to create a magazine on this ship.
Take buckets of rocks too, gravel to make grape shot. That was a Lord Dalius idea last week.
Yes.
They can do that. All right, so they start putting Cam and his crew start putting things together and creating a magazine so that you guys can shoot a little more quickly.
Is the magazine for the cannons?
Yeah, I would assume that's what you're talking about, right? A cannon magazine.
A magazine on a ship is basically a bunker in the military where you store all your explosives.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we
You'd gone to piracy school, you'd know that.
Are we storing placing the cannons above deck, or are we going to put them below deck and insert the
I don't think
windows?
we have a lot of decks. I think these cannons have to go on the main deck, right?
Yeah, right now they'll have to go on the main deck until you can get somebody to modify the ship.
Yeah.
They'll have to go on the top.
Or take a bigger ship, like in Sid Meier's Pirates.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you guys can commandeer another ship.
Yeah, another Cyclops.
This would be the Cyclops pimp because it's bigger.
We're going to end up with like our own armada.
You can only dream.
Yeah.
We're
So
in the
after-
Navy now.
What's that?
We're in the Navy now.
Yeah. Nick Chaos Actual will stop being called Nick Commodore Actual.
Oh,
I don't think we'd call it an armada. I think we'd call it a harem. Because all the boats would be our whores.
Okay,
And,
fair enough.
you at least need a Cyclops Madam somewhere in there.
Oh.
There goes our family-friendly rating.
Yeah. Sparky wanted to know if we can jerry rig some chain shot into that as well for shredding sails and whatnot. So that's a possibility. All right, so you guys get on the ship. You start making your way out of the harbor. Those of you who are still up and mobile, the woman calls you all over, and she says, for official introductions, and then she has her associate take your palm and draw a kind of like trace out in the middle of your palm what feels like either a weird letter or a rune. When they're done, you don't need your translators to speak to each other. She says, my name is Gwendolyn Momora, and I am, as I said, a priestess. We received word about your traveling south from the Broken Teeth, and we were dispatched to help you when we received word that Reedmarsh had been, and then she looks off the boat and you can see the broken beach of Reedmarsh Landing. There are some people moving around, so it looks like there were some survivors, but it doesn't look like many. The entire town is shattered. She says, we are to assist you in your endeavors, getting to a state of readiness so that you can recover an item of great importance, we're told.
Yes.
She says, where is your first destination? Where are you going to first?
I think we were gonna go sell some cargo because we need money.
Well, you had sold some already, and you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so we're good on money. That's right. Well, we were gonna go ahead and start working our way south towards where we initially inserted.
Were we going to loot the destroyed
Yeah.
city of Reedmarsh Landing before we go?
Yeah.
I mean, they're dead. They don't need it anymore.
That's true. That was one of the things we were thinking of doing is just scanning the area for interesting loot.
So you want to go hoboing, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah,
Dumpster diving.
Or pirating.
I'm not beneath that.
I shall order the ship into Reedmarsh, and I shall stay on the ship to supervise the crew because I want the cannons all polished up, and I want to run some gun drills and things like that. And we will give them 2 hours to loot as much as they can.
All right, you guys are gonna. Is that what you guys are gonna do?
I want to go loot bodies. Yes.
I will encourage everybody. It was brought up last week that somebody has a magic item they haven't been using, so we can maybe find out what item we have is magical by asking the witch that just joined us.
She might prefer the term priest, but you could call her a witch.
All right, so you can't get close enough with the boat by itself because you'll end up getting beached because all the docks that would have been able to accommodate the ship are smashed.
Okay.
So you're going to have to take the small launch in order to get that close.
Well, I'm staying on the ship to run gun drills and
All right.
make sure all my cannons are set up. And was I able to get my ballista on the forecastle?
Yes.
Oh man,
They need me to row to the beach, so like I can't help with the cannon setup. I know I'm supposed to, but they really need me rowing.
and I'll remind everybody going ashore that there's probably a 56% chance that if something bad happens, I'll just leave you here. Because if you haven't noticed, my ship is now more important than you guys. Have fun ashore.
Right, we got that.
That inspires confidence in your troops.
And the mutiny started plotting.
All right. The JR, the young man that came in with the priestess, he comes up and he says, I sense great magic in you.
Mommy always said I was special.
Do you still talk to your mother often? Is she friendly? And you guys start mounting on the boat and doing your little chit chat. Mike, your transformation from the potion has worn off, so you recover and you return back. Both Benny and Rick, your injuries appear to be healed, but you're not changing back.
You mean I'm still a tree giant?
Yes.
And a horrible person.
So both Benny and Rick, the transformation is not changing back.
That's interesting.
I'll ask
So are they naked still?
No,
Well,
they're
they're-
trees.
Yeah, they're tree zombies, kind of like Swamp Thing.
Okay. Okay.
We got bark.
All right.
So I'm gonna the nearby priestess, the nearby priestess and her assistant, I guess the priest. I'm gonna ask them if they've ever seen the tree giant potion fail to return to normal.
I could run some tests for you, she says, to determine what exactly happened.
Please do.
Nope, not testing me.
She says, I will not touch you unless I have your permission.
Yeah, okay, that's not happening.
She was going to stay on the ship, but in order to conduct the tests, because you guys are all going ashore, she goes with you.
Well, I want to stay on the boat and help the captain. Arrange a couple of nice broadsides and maybe some chasers in the forecastle.
Okay. All right. So you're getting the gun crews used to putting their stuff together?
Yeah.
All right. So you as you guys drift back into the destroyed kind of settlement. Like I said, there's maybe a handful of people just lurching around looking for survivors, picking through the assorted detritus of just wreckage that is all over this beach. Who went on the boat?
I did.
I did.
I'm listening for whispers as well. I'm trying to imagine my senses expanding out, seeing if I can turn on whatever this latent whisper thing is going on. So.
I heard whispers for a minute, but it was like every fifth word I could understand in this female voice. So I'm not clear on that.
Yeah,
I went as well.
All right. So we have Rick James, Wilbur, J Mac is rowing, and Benny. Did you stay on the ship, or you going with?
I'm not staying on the ship with that captain. I'll go on the boat.
All right.
Do you have a vaccine passport to get on the ship?
Oh God.
No, but he's gonna put his back into it, just not his eyes, because he doesn't have all of those.
He's got the potion. He does have his eye back, by the way.
Hooray!
So
This is a great game, Walt.
I didn't know that trees had eyes, but hey, yeah, whatever.
So you guys get to the the broken downtown. You start sifting through. The priestess reaches down and pulls out some kind of like seaweed, and she wraps it around your shin, JR. And
Okay.
as she starts talking in a strange language, and as she does, Wilbur, that whisper goes crazy. You can hear almost like it's like a chorus of people giving her tons of information in a multitude of languages.
I start playing with my little translator to see. So it's in my head. You know, it's nothing the translator hears ever. So
Correct.
Right. Can I make sense of any of it if I concentrate?
You keep hearing the word cursed.
Isn't that great, JR?
Well,
So-
I mean, you did cut their head off.
She stands up from kind of like the muck that she's standing in, and she says, "Your name again?"
Who's she talking to?
JR.
I'm Lieutenant Rick James.
She says, "Well, Lieutenant Rick James, it would seem that this potion, which was originally formulated by members of the Black Grove on behalf of the dwarves that you faced, they have the ability to reach through these objects and poison those who take what is theirs when they did not give of it freely. And so it would seem that you are cursed to remain in this shape unless we take some rather exotic measures.
I would just like to say that remember when reading Daredevil back in like the 1980s, and the first time they introduced the Black Hand, and you were like, "Oh, chills!" The Black Grove is the new Black Hand. That's awesome. Anyways, commentary from the ship. Enjoy yourselves over there. Extra rations of rum for everyone working on the gun crews.
So she says, when you are done stealing the possessions of others who have died, which technically is not stealing, for they are now one with the earth.
We call it hoboing.
She's like, we will talk when we get back to the deck.
We are simply
very good. Is there anything you would like us to look for you while we're scavenging? Do you need anything? Pretty baubles?
She looks at you kind of leery of the question, and she says, I think your main concern would be to cure all of this.
Yeah.
She says,
Indeed.
JR at the bar tonight trying to score. Like, I'm going to the cemetery later. Could I get you something?
So I lean close to the priestess woman, and I admit to her, I'm like, listen, I heard some of whatever the spirits were telling you, and I'm wondering, why did I hear it? Can you give me any insight into that?
She says, you could hear. That's interesting. And then she reaches down and takes more of like this kelp, the seaweed, and she holds it up between her hands. And as she does, it drains of all moisture and turns from a really healthy green to dead and brown. She says, hold your hands out, please.
And I do.
She places the seaweed in your hand, and now I need you to make a saving throw.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And
if James M. Ward would have been running this game, you'd be a gay pineapple by now.
So I got a 14. I don't know what that is. Saving throw against what?
With your particular stuff, it's just a saving throw.
Okay.
You're level 4, right?
Yes.
Level 4. Yeah, you need an 11 or higher.
Okay.
You kind of feel like almost sad as she places it into your hands. There's like an emptiness, and there's a wave that you feel come from the mud that you're standing in. You can feel you feel energized, like you've just woke up after a long sleep and a good meal. And as that feeling washes over you, the seaweed turns from that crispy brown back to a plant full of moisture and really hardy, full green of what it was before.
Do I get a feeling I could probably do that again if I concentrated on what I just felt or try to focus on it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. She says, interesting. We should talk later.
All right.
As you guys filter throughout the beach, you manage to find a case of rum that survived. You find some sailcloth, and unless you're going to be looting the bodies, that's really all that seems to be easily found within a couple of hours.
Well, oftentimes bodies have valuable stuff.
So you're going to start looting the bodies?
Yeah, why not?
Great. I'd take JR aside and I whisper in his ear, do you think I could just like pick up this witch and throw her in the water and ease our problems? What do you think, Lieutenant?
Do you want to die today? Because I bet she would kill you.
She hasn't got a chance of hurting me.
Can I remind everyone that James is the one who's like There's not enough magic in here. By the way, let's immediately kill any magic user we meet.
Okay, now you didn't hear that. You didn't hear that discussion that I'm having with the lieutenant.
That's right.
I just
rifling
remind
through all
him
40 bodies.
I just remind him that she's about to teach the two people who have potential magical abilities how to use it, so we're not relying on others.
Okay, but she might also be cursing them. You really can't tell.
So
we'll just wait it out.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so you start looting the bodies. You manage to come up with about 14 gold coins. You found a small retinue that had like what looks like old brigandine armor. You got 4 sets of that.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, there's not a lot. And you managed to come up with a couple of sabers.
What about the barrels of fire stuff that we used a while back?
Those you have on your ship. You don't really have. You didn't come across any of it here.
All right,
and a lot of the barrels and crates and stuff like that were pulled back out to sea when the wave went out.
Okay, and did we find any bottles? Because maybe we needed to make some new Molotov cocktails.
No, the only bottles that you found were like those big jug containers of rum.
Okay.
All right, so I made a note of that, and we will send that inventory. Can I communicate with the captain via the handheld thing? Like,
yes,
with text? So I send an inventory of everything that we got to the captain. And a report about a certain airman. What's the lower than E1? Because he's about to get somebody.
That was a private conversation that I had with you, Lieutenant.
I just warned him that maybe we should watch guests around him because he's got this whole ear and head thing going on.
You haven't even seen her ears yet because she's had her hood up the whole time.
The enlisted man confessed to the officer that he wanted to murder an Indig.
Couldn't have put that better myself, Nick.
Interesting that the officer would not keep that confidence like officers normally do.
Oh my goodness!
That taught me never to give him a confidence again.
I'm surprised that you were once an E7 and you just learned that. That's like not talking to officers. It's something you learn like on day 1 of being.
Okay, great.
All right, so you guys make your way back to the ship. As you crawl across, the woman, Gwendolyn, she comes back up to Chaos Actual, and she says, "A word with you, sir."
Would you like to step into my cabin for privacy and perhaps some sherry?
I cannot drink that right now.
That's okay. I'll drink for both of us.
And we can, of course, talk out here in front of your crew, assuming that you remain conscious long enough. And she's watching you swig the rum. So she's like, assuming you remain conscious enough.
Don't worry. I'm an expert.
I sincerely hope so, because I'm going to need you to remember what I'm going to tell you.
All right. Your
2 crew members, it seems that they were caught in the middle of a hex. The Loa Hagim, the voodoo dwarves, is that your?
Yes,
okay.
That would be our translation of them. Nasty little buggers.
Yes, they have. Seems they formed an alliance with the Black Grove, and the Black Grove has been supplying the Tree Titan potion that you seem to have gotten yourselves into, but they can corrupt it at any time, as long as they have proximity. And it seems 2 of your men have been poisoned, cursed, might be a better term. Yes. They won't shape-shift back. In fact, this could get worse.
Aha. How can we break that curse?
We could get them back to the Eyrie, but depending on how severe the curse, you might not have the time. Okay. We should technically keep something forged, metal, something. If you have anything cold iron on the ship,
I have this meteorite sword. It's pretty great.
That would also interrupt them rooting themselves to the deck.
Oh, okay.
And becoming more than this.
What if we towed them in a dinghy?
Let's see. Towed that they could root to the dinghy,
Oh,
which sounds very awful when you say it out loud.
Wood floats, Captain, so we don't need a dinghy.
Oh my God!
We just throw them overboard and tie a cable to them.
Yeah.
I want you to double my hazard pay for this.
Let's fill up a small cask of rum and then put the dinghy out away from our ship, and we'll tow them back to the Erie to get healed.
That, assuming we have that time, there is a sanctified place close by that might also be of some help.
Then let's make for that.
May I have access to your helmsman?
Surely. I can do the job, but he's capable.
Well, I just need somebody to give directions to.
Give them to the person that steers the boat.
All right. Yes, let's cast off and let's go with the helmsman, and we'll tow Big Benny and JR in our worst dinghy, most expendable dinghy, and we'll give them a little waxed piece of canvas to stretch out over each other so they don't get sunburned, and a little cask of rum and some of our meat that's probably going to go.
Well, the sun is seemingly good for them right now, seeing the whole, chlorophyll and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And they seem very damp, so water might not be an issue. You're not really sure what the rum will do in this condition.
Rum cures all things.
Maybe some.
So, all right. So you take off and start directions for where she's telling you to go.
Yes, and if she could hit us a little about the lore and what we could expect when we get there, and accommodations and drinking establishments and possible places to get our nails done, that would be great.
She says, "I'm not sure about." So in the chat, JMac is saying, "Use these to let the chat control what happens in the game." What am I letting them use?
We can talk about that afterwards.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway.
So Captain Kogosha wants to know if wouldn't the salt water kill them? I don't know. They've been walking around in it for a little bit. It hasn't hurt them yet, but you never know. So as you guys are being tugged along in the boat, you still have your handhelds that are wrapped on, so you can still hear what she's talking about. Several generations ago, there was one of those star metal meteors that struck the Earth, and it changed one of the members of her order from a normal man into what they called a Titan. He grew to an immense size. He was well over 15 feet tall. He was powerful, but he was very attuned to the earth. And when he died on an island, and most of the island kind of consumed him. But the only thing that remained was his skull. And the island seemed to, like a coral reef, build itself around him until the entire skull was buried underground. But in this hidden grotto, they've deemed this now a holy place to their order, and they are able to travel there once in a while when all of their methods of healing seem to fail, and drink from the skull of the Titan. She says the waters of this Titan might reverse this curse, but there is every possibility that this could be permanent.
How do you feel about that, Big Benny?
Hey, I'm starting to think about ant wives.
Oh goodness, she says. But I mean, there's been many amazing healings that have gone on there over the years, and when all else fails, that's where we go.
Well, let's go get drawn. I mean, the skull.
That's a great idea. I believe every single word that she says. I'm positive she doesn't want to hurt us or curse us.
I can't hear you. You're behind the boat being towed.
Or
Way
change us
up there.
into little piggies. I'm positive we're okay.
What? What are you saying on that dinghy way back there?
Yeah, great.
I'm drinking today.
I'm test firing cannons.
So while you guys are in the boat, her assistant or the guy who seems to be tagging along with her decided to go into the boat with both Benny and Rick James, and he says, I earlier I sensed this great magic, but before we delve into that, I was just wondering. There are a lot of things I could do with some scrapings coming off of the plant matter that you're growing. May I take some samples?
Absolutely.
So, how big is this guy?
Probably 5'9", 5'10", but maybe 180 pounds soaking wet.
I look over at Benny and I say, no, you can't do it. We need him alive.
He gets no scrapings from me.
He says it won't hurt. It's just it's a minor.
I volunteer.
So he's got these little vials that he starts putting in, and he says, "Have you ever made anything float?"
Who's he talking to?
He's talking to Rick James.
Okay.
A dead body, but I don't know how I did it.
So it floated in the air.
Yes, after we killed it.
He says, "Let me teach you a thing or two, which is going to be a little strange, seeing as I'm talking to a tree." So as you guys move along, it's several hours and almost sunset when you make your way to what looks like an island with a stone tower on it. It's you can barely see the shore from where you can see the island. It's not very big, maybe 2-3 times the length of the boat, and there's just a large stone tower on it. She points and says, "Hey, this is where we're going," so forth and so on. I would venture cautiously. We don't keep an active presence here.
Should we go for it at night or in the morning?
Depends. How is your vision at night?
Pretty good.
She says, "All right, as long as your vision is strong in the evening, then we should go sooner than later."
Okay. How is the moon today?
It's 3/4 full. There's a lot of light.
Oh, that's a lot of light. Okay. Is there an anchorage?
You guys are going to have to anchor offshore and then row in.
Okay. We shall anchor offshore and we shall take the 2 tree people in.
All right. You guys make landfall all together?
Yes. I would like to construct 1 Molotov cocktail.
All right. So what provisions are you guys taking for when you hit the beach? Anything special?
I'm taking my sword, my weapons, an extra bottle of drinking rum, and then a bottle of rum that's been converted into a Molotov cocktail.
I have nothing because they kicked me into this boat without letting me go into my cabin and take my stuff. It's almost like they were planning to kill me and loot my body.
I, of course, never let go of my rifle or my combat knife, being a good soldier.
Gotcha.
Did it last when they converted and destroyed our outer clothing?
Yeah, it lasted just fine.
What's that? All your weapons and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your weapons are fine. Like all your gear is fine. It's just when you hulk out, you shred through regular clothing.
Yeah, but what about when Benny's backpack blew up?
That is not good. So all of his shrunken heads and ears and stuff like that were obliterated. He's going to have to start building a new set.
My ears too?
Yeah, caught on fire. It was bad.
Man, that's just wrong.
Then I would have had my short sword and my pistol and my combat knife.
Yep.
And all the works.
Yep. So you guys hit the beach. It looks like a small path leading into the beach with there's a set of stairs over here on this side.
Did my bullseye necklace that we took off the dead wizard make any noticeable changes when we became trees?
No.
Okay.
Am I there as well?
Yes, if you want to be. That would be you right there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're hiding. All
I've
right.
got my flasks of oil like I always do, and
All right, so you guys are going to progress up the beach?
Heck yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even mind leading so that my captain doesn't get hurt by any surprise attack.
All right. You get to the beach. Start maneuvering your way up, and like I said, the island is maybe 2-3 times the size of the boat. It's not very large. You make your way all the way up to the outer door of the kind of like the rampart, and you see that it's open.
Open is for entering.
Would you like to lead the way, Private Benny?
As
Does Benny
usual,
even fit?
Yeah, he'll fit.
I guess that's
Okay.
a fair question. Yeah, of course I'll lead the way, as usual.
All right, so you get in there. There's a set of stairs leading up, and there is a series of crates with what looks like rations and provisions on the ground, as well as a sealed, like a sealed cask.
Now, when you say cask, you mean a thing that holds liquid, or do you
Yeah.
mean
Like a big barrel.
So, what does the awful witch hag suggest?
She's gonna curse you.
The priestess.
She says, if you'll allow me, I can get us a little further in to deal with your condition.
I
Do
will
it.
allow it.
She walks to the center of that tower, depresses stones on the outsides of like four corners, and the stones drop away into a set of stairs.
Fun.
What's in that cask?
Whiskey.
Ooh, I'm gonna yell out the chip to Lamb to come get this cask.
Medicinal whiskey, of course.
Yeah.
Medicinal.
I'm surprised you don't empty out your rum bottle by drinking it to fill
Oh,
up.
that's right. I'll do that.
Oh my god.
I roll. What's my my Constitution is 15. I roll a 9. I power that rum bottle,
Oh
Nice.
god.
and then I reload with the whiskey.
All right. So you guys go downstairs?
Yes.
I follow the priestess.
Yes.
I go last.
He got a little afraid. It's okay.
It's a tiered landing, so you go down a number of steps. There's a landing, and then you go down a number of steps again. When you exit, you exit on the what looks like the south side of a big cavern. It's very strange because there's light in here. It looks almost like early morning. Like the sun has just come up, even though you're totally underground. In the center of this big grotto, you see what looks like a giant skull rising up out of a platform. There are men with what look like clubs and shields. They have hoods coming off of skull cap helmets and plain white face masks. On the masks, it looks like they have red tears streaking down all the way down to their jawline. The shields have like a red border around it, and when you look a little closer, it actually appears to be what looks like a crown of thorns or a weave of thorns in a circle with red thorn vines woven in between it. There is a person similarly dressed to Gwendolyn in the center. Her raiments are a little different coloration, lots of browns and blacks. It makes it kind of hard to see in the grotto because she's very well camouflaged beside these two trees that are coming up out of this gigantic skull's eyes. There on the backside, it looks like more of these men in like naturalized armor. It looks like they have giant vines coming out of their heads with those same masks, and they're sporting bows. And you guys come in on this side. It does not look like they've seen you yet. So what do you guys do?
Priestess who those people are.
She says that happens to be trouble.
It's her rival high school team.
In that drunken way of being loud but trying to whisper, I'll shush everybody.
That means I need dice.
It sounds like you've done this before, Nick.
Of course I have. I've been drunk before. That was the 90s.
It doesn't appear like anybody has heard you. And to your drunken brain, you absolutely feel that you're probably well hidden.
Sweet. All right.
Okay. I'm on the landing, and I will begin singing my battle song.
Oh God.
Oh, what is it? Can you sing
Yeah,
it for
sing
us?
it.
Sure. Men of Harlech, stand ye steady, with our guns be ever. And then I just get louder and louder and louder.
The other woman that's similarly dressed to Gwendolyn, she kind of looks up and gets this look on her face like, "Are you kidding me?" The how many is it? It's 1, 2, 3.
And the priestess is looking at him like, "Oh no, you didn't."
The 4 men that are had the clubs and the shields, they get together in a line across the kind of like the walkway. They lock their shields and they put their clubs on their shoulders.
All right. That sounds wonderful.
All right. What are you guys going to do? Because they know you're there now.
Well, I'll watch the captain and see what he does.
Yeah, I'm asking him, should we attack, Captain?
I think
Who? Benny or the guys?
Now that we've completely lost the ability to surprise, let us commence an attack.
Love that.
How do we lose the element of surprise?
Because Benny
We're
was
so quiet.
As we prepare for battle, I look over at the captain and ask him what a negative E ranking is so we can prepare.
Well, I'll show you when I get a chance.
Well, I have my built-in 240 ready to go.
All right,
Light
so
him up.
Wonderful.
You're carrying the 240, or you are running the gun team?
That's a fair question.
I have my rifle has the built-in 240, right?
No,
that's a 203.
Is a crew served weapon, so you'll need a gunner and an AG. So you're probably the gunner, and you've got one of your men belt feeding you ammo. So you will now have to place the gun by getting down, setting up the tripod, and lighting those dudes up.
Nick,
when in doubt, 40
his weapon. Last week his weapon had the 203, and then he directed the gun team, so he's got the grenade launcher slung under.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yes, let's use the 240 and see if we can just waste the shield line.
Okay.
Oh, that's going to be brutal. Go ahead, somebody give me initiative on this.
I will roll a 20-sider, and I think I get, with my Corpse Reaver dice, an 18.
Oof, yeah, I did not
Well
get
done.
18.
All right.
That's what happens when you get awesome dice.
Awesome dice.
And speaking of awesome dice.
And Ted Lehman gives you this really cool dice pad.
Yeah, that still isn't a box.
Oh, no, it's a mouse pad now.
Great.
Right on. So yeah, if you guys are looking for grabbing some of the same dice that we have, you can go over to Awesome Dice using this link and tell them that the Sci-Fi Writers playing old school D&D sent you. They make some really good dice over there. Nick, did you want to give them a view of what those dice look like?
These beautiful dice are just look at how vintage and crafted, and so far they've rolled nothing but 18s, 17s, 19s, 15s. I really like the 6-sider. The 6-sider is beautiful. Let me find it.
Yeah. Can we see that? Yeah. Those are the Carrion Crown dice. Those are. Oh man, that looks badass.
This looks like something like you would get at Disney's haunted house.
Awesome.
Like, I'm not kidding. I just rolled a 3 with it. How great is that? And I needed a 3.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to let the gun team roll up first?
Yes.
All right. We position to
All right.
gun them all down.
All right. J-Mac, did you want to roll for the gun team?
I rolled a 16.
All right. Now they all have to save. All right. So you guys open up with the gun. It's just a wave of fire going out over the chasm, and basically, so that you don't hit Big Benny, you kind of get a cone of directed violence going that way. The echo in this cavern is monstrous. If it wasn't for the fact that you guys are wearing hearing protection, it would be a very bad day in the neighborhood to be close to this gun when it goes off. The massive wave of suppressive fire goes through, and this guy dives to the side and takes a couple of glancing blows from the rounds. These two guys get shredded and pounded into the dirt. It looked like kicking over slapping over a mailbox when you were, a kid doing horrible things on Halloween. Let's see, that'll bring us to Benny. What are you doing?
I just want to say for the record,
yes.
Since our boat incident with Benny, my concern whether he's in the line of fire or not is very minimal.
That's not the proper attitude. Jeez.
This is my mindset. I don't let people know that, but that's where my head's at.
Okay. I would like to find out if I can toss a grenade at the witch on the skull.
Yes, you could reach from there.
Let's do it.
All right. Tell me what you got.
Okay, my friend.
So she's got, you're going to need a 12 or higher to hit her.
And I got a 16, my good buddy.
That would do just fine. Give me 3d6 on damage.
All right, my favorite.
And let me see. The rest of them, she's got to save, and then they got to save.
6, 6, 2. 14.
Oh, that's brutal. She gets blown off the skull.
I love that.
So the skull, I mean, it literally looks like this giant mound of a skull. It's probably, from the deck, it's probably 6 or 7 feet from where it is off of that raised platform. She falls to the back side of it, screaming in terrific pain. The two archers that were behind her, they get blasted into the dirt and just shredded by the shrapnel.
I love that.
This guy, when the thing lands and goes off, he puts his hand up and lowers his head. And as that happened, there's the big explosion, lots of dust and debris. She gets blown off the side. And as the dust clears, it's just kind of like clinging to him and kind of waving off of him, but he doesn't look like he was affected by the blast.
He's one of those guys.
One of those guys.
All right. That brings us to Lieutenant Mike.
I will activate my spear and move in a blocking position to protect the gunners from infantry attacks.
All right. Are you going to attempt to stab any of them?
If anybody is in range, yes, I will.
There are 2 guys that you can get in range to hit them with that.
Very well. And I will miss.
What did you get?
A 4.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
All right. So as you activate it, the spear becomes super light. You get those ghostly letters that hover above the blade, but it's a thrusting stab that they dodge, and they don't even present their shield to kind of because they were at kind of like the tip of your distance and be able to strike them. That brings us to Lieutenant Rick James.
All right. I am going to grab one of the napalm flasks that I have and aim it at the guy who has the force field around him and throw it.
Okay.
And I rolled my awesome dice, and I got a 19.
Ooh, that's a good hit. Go ahead and give me the damage for that.
What is the damage for the napalm flask? Is it
Those
3d6?
No, 2d6.
2d6, okay. 7.
Hey, Leo Vicarius. Okay, I'm confused. I just got here. Some chick was blown on a skull. Color me confused. Yeah, there goes that rating. I'm sorry. What did you get for damage?
7.
7. All right. The fire hits him, or rather, the flask hits right at his feet. It breaks against the skull, and the liquid ignites, tumbling into fire across him. He steps out of it, and he's burning, and he's like looking at himself, but he looks like disinterested, like somebody just painted his nails, and it's not something he's normally into. But he doesn't appear to be bothered by the flame. Brings us to J-Mac for your actual attack, because you attacked for the gun crew the last time.
Oh, I'm going to keep doing that.
All right. So, Wilbur.
All right, I'm gonna. So how many? Do we have anybody standing other than the guy with the magic shields?
There are 2 of those guys down, right? So let me give you a quick overview. So you got these 2 guys that are along the orange lines. Those guys are smoked.
Yep.
You got this guy back here who jumped out of the way. It looks like he took some glancing hits, but he appears mobile and still dangerous. This guy didn't get hit at all. And then if you look up to the top, you got all of these people who are similarly dressed. They're archers. These 2 back here were blasted, so they're out of the fight. And then you got the woman that was right here who got thrown off of the skull, and then you got this guy here who seems to be continuing to take damage, but he seems to be shrugging off the majority of it.
All right, so
Go ahead. To say before you act, Kuchenmeyer, you have to ask yourself, what would Captain Powers do?
Exactly. So, can I reach the guys in the top left with a flask of oil?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to try to. So exactly, I'm going to try to create, because they're archers, so I want to, at the very least, try to get them, and at worst, obscure their vision of us, with lots of flame.
Gotcha. Go for it.
All right, and that would mean I got to roll, and I roll a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
All right. Give me. Yeah, that's not going to. I got to see where that's going to bounce. Okay. You managed to get it close, so you're going to obscure them, but it doesn't look like you caught any of them in the actual radius of the flame.
Yeah.
So, but at least they're kind of obscured. So if they do loose arrows at you, they're going to have to do it in a high arc, which is going to be hard because you're actually in a grotto. The ceiling isn't that high.
Cool.
All right, that goes to Captain Nick Powers.
I am gonna using my
Rock Powers
ring of speed. I'm going to blink right next to the archer that's bottommost right behind his back.
All right.
And jab my sword right into his throat.
All right. So, you start concentrating on the ring, and you don't immediately appear right next to them.
Right.
So you start moving, and then all of a sudden, there's all sorts of plants and stuff like that are dripping water in here. There's all sorts of craziness. There's that weird sunlight that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. And as you go to step toward that one archer, everything sort of freezes. The little drops are going in slow motion. You guys see him move, and then he blinks out of existence. So there's a shudder of movement from him where he kind of it looks like somebody's got him on an extreme shaky cam, right? So he starts out over here, and then there's a blink, and then he's over here, and then there's another blink, and then he's standing right beside the fire in front of the archer. All right, what do you do?
Lucky number 7, and I attack him.
All right, go ahead.
Corpse dice gives me a little hard to read. 12.
You do manage to hit him. Give me 2d4 for damage.
2d4 plus its super activating powers. We're gonna do 7 points of damage.
All right. You bring this thing off your shoulder, and because it is a bastard sword, correct?
Yes.
And kind of swing it down. It clips into this guy's collarbone, breaking through the bone, through the bow that he had strung. And like you caught him off guard, so he came back and was trying to use the bow as a block. You break through that, cut through his collarbone, and drop him to his knees in a bloody mess. But you also notice that the power of the sword didn't activate again.
Damn.
So it was straight up like you and damage on him.
Okay.
In order to do that, 2, 4, 6. All right. So, but he's down and very badly wounded. It doesn't look like he's going to be getting back up again. Oh my goodness! Leo Vicarius just dropped 10 subs in the chat. Holy crap!
All right, that was so kind of you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Leo. Really appreciate that. So the wait, my veteran hecklers didn't get a sub. Oh my God, my dog just came in here and just put his nose into someplace uncomfortable. All right, so they start counterattacking. 2 of the archers try to level shots at you, Nick. One of them misses, but the other one hits. They got 6 points of damage. So, and give me a saving throw, please.
I failed to make it with a 5.
Ooh, that's not good. All right, so
because I'm an idiot, saving throws you're supposed to get below or above the number, and ability checks below.
Correct.
Okay.
You know how to now D&D at the introductory level.
Only taking me 7 months.
So the arrow kind of skips off of your armor and blasts across your arm, cutting into. Oh my God, Leo! Leo Vicarius just dropped another 10 subs in the chat. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness! Why in the world would you do that?
Because he loves the audience. I was trying to get you guys, but it got everyone else. Darn it!
I see.
Hey, thank you so much for doing that, Leo. That is so kind of you. So yeah, the arrow skips across your armor and cuts across your arm, cutting a swath over what would be. Now, are you wearing your pirate garb or are you wearing your military garb?
My pirate garb.
Do you still have your plate carrier on?
No.
Oh, so yeah, it plunges across your arm over what would have been, if you were wearing your military garb, where the American flag would sit, but it shreds that, and you kind of feel a tingle as well as the slice of the what do you call it, the arrow. Mm-hmm. You start feeling like a weird sensation traveling up your arm.
Good heavens, I've been struck.
The what do you call it? The guy who has been kind of sloughing off all that damage. He brings up his hand and holds up his fingers. He goes like this, and you just see these weird lances of light form on either side of them. And he points away from his eyes and pushes his hand toward you, and both lances strike you. If I can get the die out.
This is going to hurt.
The first one does 3 points. The next one does 2 points.
Ow.
They hit, and it looks like almost like translucent spears of air and shadow that dissipate after they hit, but then the wounds start bleeding profusely.
Ooh.
All right, that brings us.
Can I get an AC check on his captain's hat with the plume?
It depends on how he's got it angled.
So is the guy who cast a spell? Did he get hit by anything? Is he still smoking? I mean, does he look injured at all?
He doesn't look injured at all.
Okay.
the two guys with the clubs, and as they get closer, it looks less like a fabricated club and more like just a tree trunk with what looks like animal teeth embedded and then sticking out from the actual clubs. So you can see like large animal fangs, shark's teeth. There's a crazy assortment of like animal fangs just sticking out from this thing. The first one they're going to try and hit is Lieutenant Cordoba.
Yeah.
He hits your AC. He bats away your spear, trying to strike you in the chest, but because of your armor, it hits more of your arm. You get 5 points of damage. And can I have a saving throw, please?
All right. 18.
18. Oh, that's a definite save. All right, so you take another 2 points of damage. So for 7 total, but you feel you feel kind of weird. Like you can feel a sensation, like a tingling going up from where that weapon hits you. The other guy takes a swing at Benny, who's the other guy on the thing. He hits. Benny,
I don't think I'm gonna like this.
You get hit for 3 points, and can I have a saving throw, please?
Well, you can, but I don't know if I'll save. 19.
All right, yeah, you save. Another 2 points on top of that.
Okay, buddy.
And then, but you feel a weird tangle and tingle in your vines. Let's see, where'd it go? Just want to say thanks to Leo. Oh no, that was Lord Dalius. Lord Dalius is subscribing with Prime. Thanks, man.
Subscription war.
Subscription war. This is awesome. You guys are rocking the box. All right, so
I promise that one major player character will die today. Thank you for your subscription.
No.
So the rest of them seem to be kind of maneuvering and trying to do their best to angle around to get at you guys. And then now you goes back to let's see, that would be J-Mac machine gun.
Okay, I signal the gun guys to man the guns, and I storm the beach to provide cover fire. I see somehow Chaos Actual has just appeared on the beach and stormed it. And I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing. I charge in up behind him, providing cover fire, and I aim at one of the archers that's been shooting at him.
All right. So you're gonna be -2 to hit. All right, because that's what do you call it? They're behind like a wall of flame, and you can only see him with the sword embedded into this dude's neck. So if you look at what we got going on here, so this is you right here storming in between a bunch of dudes. There's the captain and his victim.
Okay, so I rolled a 16 and I have a +3 -2, so 17.
All right. Oh yeah, that's a hit. Who are you? Are you throwing a burst at these two?
No, I'm aiming at the archer that hit him.
So this one right here.
Yeah.
All right. And give me damage. So did you let off a burst, or are you using your weapon, or are you using the machine gun?
No, I left the machine gun on the beach. It's manned by Dagger Team or whoever.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm using my rifle.
All right. Give me damage. 2d6.
6.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not good. All right. So you run forward, and as you get about halfway, you descend into that kind of rolling walk that shooters get when they have to shoot on the move. You tap the trigger, decimating this guy, shattering his mask, blowing off the back of his hood, and he just falls directly dead onto the stone. That brings us to. Now let's see what we got. That brings us to Benny.
Okay, it seems somebody is meleeing me.
Yep.
I would like to know. I'm thinking that my two tree fists, do more damage than my combat knife.
Probably.
Okay, then I'd like to punch him twice.
You can, if you go twice, you're going to get negatives. If you go once, you'll be able to hit him without any negatives.
I love negatives.
All right.
Twice it is.
-2, -4.
Okay, that's not going to be a happy. Okay, I got a 12 and a 9.
All right. All right. So he ducks under with his shield, and you pound on the shield, denting it, and then he steps back for the second swing out of your reach. That brings us to Mike.
Just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside.
I will try stabbing this guy.
All right.
14, 15 with my bonus.
Damage?
Let's see. 5.
As you pull back the spear, he puts his his shield out, and his kind of the mace behind him, so that after he deflects, he can swing with the mace, or the club rather. You blow through the shield, his arm, his helmet, and then the mace behind it, shattering all and kind of leaving it all on the clothesline, dripping in blood and ruin. So he goes down hard. That brings us to Rick James.
All right, I'm probably going to regret this as a horrible idea, but I'm going to make a run for the raised dais and see if I can get in that water before because I have a sneaking suspicion they might be able to control me with their little voodoo magic, because I think they're linked. So I want to get healed.
All right, so you're going to make a run for the trough?
Yeah.
All right, and you get there. Do you take a drink of this? Do you automatically take the drink?
Absolutely.
All right. And so when you get up there, it is exactly what it looked like from your position. It's a giant skull, much bigger than what Gwendolyn described. And the skull is it's massive, and out of its eye sockets are 2 trees. And as you get closer, right, the water is sparkling and clear. So you can see to the bottom of the skull. But the other thing that catches your eye are the 2 trees. They look like people. And reaching across the expanse between the 2 trees, it looks like they're holding hands. They're frozen in place, and it looks like sections of the tree bark has been stripped away over the years. You take a drink, and we'll deal with that in a minute. That brings us to Booger.
All right. Have we heard hide in her hair of the lady of the one who was standing on top of the skull at the time? She got knocked off.
She got knocked down. She hasn't recovered yet. Doesn't look like.
Okay, so she's like unconscious.
Hard to tell from this angle.
Or better.
All right. So who's my easiest target with a rifle?
So if you look at the map, we go like that. So you're down here.
Yep.
Right in this bush right beside Big Benny. You got a guy over here that you can hit.
Right. It looks like I've got an angle that I shouldn't get negatives. I'm just to the side of the fire, or
yep.
All right.
And then you got this guy here.
Which
right.
Benny's engaged with already.
Right. So if you aim it at him, you could hit Benny. This guy just went down.
Yeah,
so,
I'll let him stay down.
And then this guy is down as well.
All right, so let me take the guy all the way to the top. I'll take aim with my rifle and let a shot off.
All right.
And I get a 15 on my roll.
That works.
And 2d6.
Please.
And I get a 6.
All right. So you drop back, kind of half leaning on Benny, half leaning on the tree that you're behind, bracing your rifle. You take that shot. It blows through the archer's breastplate. She screams out, hits the dirt, and starts like rolling around. So it looks like she got hurt, but she's not totally out of the fight. Brings us to Chaos Actual.
I'm going to blink now behind JR and using the giant skull as cover to get out of combat.
Gotcha.
But he does it bravely and heroically.
He advances to the rear.
Wow! I hope that wizard doesn't see him and throw a spell at him.
I don't know. It might be weird. Let's see. So that goes back to them. This archer tries to fire an arrow from the ground at you, Booger. Give me a percentile roll.
Oh, I hate those.
Yep.
That can't be good. That can't be good.
52.
52. So you're sitting there, you fire, you go to adjust position, and as you go to like maneuver your optic, the arrow penetrates your right hand.
That's not bad.
Give me a saving throw. You take 2 points of damage from the arrow, and then I need a saving throw.
Someone gonna lose some fingers.
17.
All right, that's good. So take another 2 points off of that. So you
right.
four total,
right.
and now you have an arrow protruding through the center of your right hand.
Ouch!
That could be inconvenient.
The woman that got knocked off of her, off of the skull, is trying to chant, and behind you can hear Gwendolyn, who is chanting as well. It seems like they might be at cross purposes. So the Blackthorn, the Black Grove priestess is doing something, and Gwendolyn is trying to stop it. The guy who is the wizard, he snaps his fingers and disappears.
We don't like that.
Let's see. That leaves us with the guy right here who is fighting Benny, and he sees that he's in pretty rough shape, surrounded by a giant tree monster and a bunch of guys with machine guns. So he jumps off of this little thing and disappears into the grotto. You have a person that's up here still active, and you have that Black Grove priestess over here who seems to be moving and fighting from the ground. Brings us back around. J-Mac.
I take aim at the archer in the far upper left.
All right. Give me a shot.
I rolled a 3, and I think I have +4, so it's a 7, and I still miss.
All right. You kick up some rock as you try and, because she fired from the ground, so she's a smaller target. So you kick up some dirt, but don't manage to damage her. That brings us.
I want to move too. I want to move.
Where do you want to go?
Like where the dead archer is.
So forward. Up here?
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to Benny.
Trying to save my captain's life, I will run underneath the chin of that skull and up around on the other side of him.
So you want to go up here?
Thank you very much. As far as I can get.
Yep, that's right about the limit of where you can go.
Okay.
All right. That brings us to Lieutenant Mike.
Pretty much the same as Benny. I'm trying to reach the female magician.
You can almost get there this round.
All right, so I will maneuver in that direction.
All right. So you'll be able to get almost right beside Benny. That would be that would be right here and right here. So yeah, you're going to be right beside Benny. And then so you can see her. She's on the ground. She's hurt, but she's still active. That brings us to Rick James. JR.
Yes.
There we
I
go.
drank the water, so.
Oh, you become rooted in place. You can't move, but you can feel all of the vines and stuff like that cracking.
Okay. That could be positive, or
yeah.
it could kill me.
Yeah, or it could kill you. That goes to Booger.
All right. So I've got this arrow that's probably going to affect my ability to shoot. Is that?
Yeah.
So, do I have a set of pliers where I can, or snippers that I can like cut the thing in half and extract it?
Yeah, you can Gerber tool that thing.
All right. So that and take a shot.
No, you won't be able to pull it. It depends. You can pull it out as Messy Marvin style and go, Captain Murphy. Because no plan survives first contact with an arrow through the hand. And you can just yank it out, like crack it in half and yank out the other end.
Right.
Or you can extract it by using, like a multi-tool and like make a clean break so that there's no splinters, possible infection, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I would,
If you go Gerber, no, you can get it out, but you won't be able to attack. If you go super dirty, then you can break it and then shoot.
All right, so let me go super dirty. Snap it, pull it out, take aim on the one who sent me the arrow, and see if I can send her a gift in return.
I love it. Go for it.
All right, and I rolled an 18.
Ooh, give me some damage.
Well done.
2d6.
And that's 5 points.
So she's kind of like half sitting up and like half kneeling and using the bow sideways. You put the round straight through her neck, and she gurgles, trying to keep all of the insides from going outside, and she falls off of that area and tumbles into the darkness. That brings us to Chaos Actual.
I guess I'm going to have to use one of my healing packs or first aid kits.
You going to go for a first aid kit?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that's what you're doing this round. Give me 1d6. You get 1d3 back.
Yeah. I rolled a 2.
So you get 1 point.
Yes.
So you're applying bandages, blah, blah, blah. All right. That brings us back around to her. She takes a knife and cuts her hand, and then throws her hand kind of like in a wide arc so that the blood lands on the skull and the two trees. And you can start to hear creaking.
This is not going to be good.
We ain't going to like that.
That brings us, J-Mac, you're up.
I want to move forward a little bit, but still kind of have cover on this skull rock, but get a line of sight on Black Grove dude.
Yep.
And I want to take a shot.
All right, go for it.
I rolled a 5. I'm getting a +4 though, but
that is not going to do it. Benny.
I want to pull her arms off.
So you're going to run up there and try and disarm her?
Tree handler.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, go for it.
I don't know what I need to roll to pull off arms. I've never done it before.
It's basically like an improved grapple, so give me a hit roll.
Okay. 19 seems pretty good.
That is very good. So now she's going to try and save to see if her give me damage. So give me 1d6, and then at whatever you get, add 4 to it.
Okay, that seems kind of disappointing. 9.
Ooh. You pick her up. So you grab both arms by the shoulder. You pick her up, and she pulls back into herself to keep you from trying to rip her arms off. But in the midst of all that, you hear like a really hard snap, and then there's a series of snaps, and she starts bleeding out of her mouth and nose, and then her head slumps.
How pleasing that is.
And she goes either unconscious or dead. You're not really sure because.
Oh, I'm sure she's dead because I want her head.
Oh.
New ear collection.
All right. So while it seems like you guys have cleared the board of enemy, and before
it seems
you've cleared the board of enemy. Mike disappeared, or rather, CJ disappeared. I do not know where he went. Let's see. Let's real quick. So really quick, we want to do a shout out to a huge friend of the show who's constantly supporting us and doing a lot for us behind the scenes. There he is. That's Lieutenant Mike Espinoza back. So we want to talk real quick about the next edition of Gabbin at Lord's Peak. That's Lord Zumba, Jay Scott. He's going to be talking up the Candlekeep mysteries, and for that he's going to have special guests Ed Greenwood, Tony Winslow Brill, and Eric Mengi. So that's going to be Sunday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Jay puts on a good show. He's always got lots of good guests. James, you've been on the show a couple times, right?
I think I have, yes.
Yeah. So if you get the chance, get out there, watch his show. I just finished watching his 2-part series on custom classes for 1E, and his show for how to make your fighter from boring to barbarian. It was really, really good show. So if you get a chance to check out any of his shows, especially his live plays, because he's got a whole dungeon full of like crazy miniatures and stuff like that. It's really a good time. So check him out. So so you guys apparently have cleared the board, and JR seems to be like prying himself out of the tangle of branches and limbs. He looks normal, but you never can tell until you talk to the man.
I mean, was I normal before?
And it remains to be seen.
So I'm shouting, there's an invisible wizard around here somewhere. Let's look for him.
All right, what are you going to do?
I'm starting to wave my branches around in a deadly manner.
You kind of notice the trees that are planted in this thing's eyes, that skull, are starting to move. So kind of like half tree, half person. It's like they're trying to pull their roots up.
Don't we want to consult with Gwendolyn here and go, hey, what can you tell us about what we're seeing here?
Now that she's not dealing with and doing a bunch of counter magic, she runs up and she's like, we need to get whatever water you're going to get, and we need to get out of here before those things free themselves.
Is there any chance they're ant wives?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, what are you guys doing?
Well, I'm diving in the water and then I'm drinking some of it.
I'm going to empty my canteen and scoop up some water into my canteen.
Is JR like unfrozen? Didn't he get frozen up or something?
Yeah, he's kind of ripping out of the husk of what he was. So it's going to take him a minute.
But on my way out, I'm grabbing a canteen full of that special water.
All right. Now the other thing too is that all of your equipment is on the husk of the creature, so you're going to have to spend time like removing the equipment and like taking it with you.
I will think really hard on it, and maybe the magic will work for me.
Okay. You keep doing that. All right.
I'm going to ask the priestess if she can heal my wounds or if the pool can heal my wounds. And I've got some tingling in my arm.
She says, you've probably been poisoned. She's like, let me do something about that first. She says, drink this. And she hands you like a small vial.
I do.
She goes, obviously you have no problem drinking stuff.
No.
And then she takes some of the water in her hand and kind of like just lets it pour over your shoulder. She presses against the wound and you can see the wound start closing.
Oh, nice.
So you get back 6 points.
I'm healed.
The first tree, the one that was stuck in the skull's eye, it rips itself free from its rooting and turns. You can see like the horrible, grotesque version of what might have been a face. It rips branches free from its torso, creating arms with kind of like rake-like hands instead of like normal hands. And it's glaring at Benny, who is right next to it, because Benny is right there.
So it's the right tree?
Yep, it's this one right here. You guys do anything?
I suggest we toss a lot of fire and get the heck out of there.
I say, oh, that's not good.
I order everybody to retreat immediately.
All right.
I holler at Nick that maybe we should get Frankenbeans to step in some of that special water.
I order everybody to retreat immediately.
He stayed on the boat.
Crowley obeys.
Yeah. All right, so you guys run out of there.
Is there a chance in the world? Because I'm turning into a husk, aren't I?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Because you didn't take any of that water yet, did you?
Yeah, I swallowed it as soon as I dived in.
Oh, I got you. All right. You haven't turned yet.
Okay. Is there a chance in the world I can grab the dead babe and take her with us?
If you really want to.
I really want to.
All right. So you guys are all running out of there.
With our gear.
Yeah, sort of. So you get to about here, and then you freeze in place, Benny.
Okay.
Right, and
cool. He's not blocking the way.
It's the same thing with JR that happened to JR. You're like breaking out of branches and ripping and breaking vines and stuff like that to get out of the husk that you were in.
Okay.
So that first tree comes out from its mooring and lands right there, and starts trying to get its bearings, it looks like. You guys have all fled the coop, so you guys are out of there. The only one, the daggers remain behind. Hold on a sec.
Gotta deal with the dog.
Oh, he hates the mailman. So yeah, the dagger team has remained behind to kind of protect Benny as he's ripping himself out.
Brave lads. I'm so proud of them all.
I pat them on the shoulder as I run back to the boat.
Oh my God. The second tree rips itself from its mooring and starts moving itself toward you, Benny. Right about the time they get right behind the husk that you're crawling out of, you can free yourself, but your gear is still connected to the husk.
Yeah, I've got 3 things. I got a small bag of grenades, I got my combat knife, and I have my rifle that I'm taking no matter what, even if they attack me. And then I still want to grab the babe and run up the stairs.
All right. Let's see. So the first one takes a swipe at you.
Of course.
And hits the husk.
Oh, good.
He takes a swipe, doesn't really get like he batters the husk and just basically turns the top half from the waist up into just a pile of dust and leaves.
Wow.
You manage to get this round. You can get all of your equipment off. Do you stay to pick up the woman?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the second one comes up and is going to try and swipe at you as well. It's going to be that one hits and the other one hits. First one, you're wearing your armor, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
If it stayed on me, I don't know. What happened.
I'll say that you could put it on while you were stripping the other stuff off.
What a nice GM you are. Thank you, Walt.
Well, I thought the armor got destroyed when he got turned into a tree, didn't it?
No. The clothing does. The armor
okay.
just is Velcro, so it kind of unvelcros and kind of flaps on him when he's doing his thing.
So he's naked?
He is now, except for his plate carrier.
How humiliating.
Yeah, but I look good naked, unlike captains.
All right, I need a saving throw from you.
Yes, sir. Only got a 16.
All right, so you managed to maintain your balance on the platform because every time these things hit you, it like batters you around.
Yeah, sure.
You didn't fall off the first time. You took 6 points. The next time you took 9.
Okay.
For a total of 15.
Yes.
What does that put you at?
Well, I have to ask you. When I was a tree, I took 5. So did that go away?
No, that went away.
Okay, so that puts me at 21. I don't think I'm doing good.
That puts you at 21.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's 21. Let me see.
You start off at 21, you mean?
Let's see. Master Sergeant. Where is the Master Sergeant? There we go. So Master Sergeant, AC hit points. Yeah, you started at 21.
Okay, so I'm 0.
Well,
You're 6.
You got 6 left.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, you gonna try and pick her up and carry her out?
Haven't I already done that?
Well, you can grab her and free her from the husk because the husk had like a grip around her, kind of like carrying a bag of groceries. So you had to free her from the husk, and now you're gonna try and run out of there.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can I use my camaraderie on him to prevent half the damage to him, to shield him?
Do you have that ability?
Yep, it's one of my grunt abilities.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I was saving it for suicide powers over there. But I'm also debating whether or not I want to actually use it on the guy who threw a frag grenade at me.
Do you want to use that ability?
Yeah, I do. On the 15.
All right, let me get to your stuff. That is your camaraderie. All right.
So does that mean the damage gets split between the two, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Really? Jeez, now I owe ya.
you more than owe me. You owe me one for throwing the frag grenade at me.
I didn't throw a frag grenade at you.
I mean, I was in the middle of the room that you threw it into.
Well, there is that.
All right, so you want to take half his damage using your camaraderie skill?
Yeah.
All right, so you took that. Each takes 7.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Thank you. So now, what about the machine gunners cutting loose? Am I in the way of their shooting?
Yeah, a little bit. That's why they haven't been shooting yet.
Yeah, all right. I got a lever, I guess, and just run up the stairs.
All right, you run up the stairs. They start machine gunning, and all right, that's gonna.
Do I need to roll anything to get out with my gear in the water?
What do you mean? What did you jump? You jumped off of the platform?
I was on the platform freeing my gear. I didn't have to roll anything.
No, you got your gear.
All right, was I able to grab a canteen full of the water from the grotto?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
absolutely.
perfect.
All right, so you guys get to the top. You see your what do you call it? You see your friend the Gwendolyn. She's out here on this side of the beach. She kind of made it up first. Her buddy is underneath these trees, kind of. He's chanting and looking around, and right here, you see the ground kind of like pound upward, and it happens several times before it like caves in, and you see one of those tree limbs come out. But now you guys are all out, and I have to replace those with your actual miniatures. But you see one of those trees coming through the ground. Are you going to take a shot at it while it's climbing?
Wouldn't fire be very effective?
Could be.
I believe the order is to run.
Well, I mean, you can only get on the boat so fast, so somebody has to hold the rear action.
The captain deploys his Molotov cocktail against the tree.
All right. Go for it. Tell me what you got.
I rolled a 9.
All right. Bounce. All right. That's so you hit kind of like on the outskirts of where this thing is, but you managed to cut because it's climbing through a hole. So it's really hard to miss. The only thing we're doing is making sure that it didn't bounce back towards you. So you kind of hit it here, and the flame just covers this side of it as it's crawling out. And as it's catching in fire, it seems like the longer this thing is up and moving, the bigger it's getting.
Ooh. But at least it's on fire.
It is on fire right now. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm tossing a Molotov over towards the big guy and scooting out of there.
All right. Can I have fire damage for that, Nick? 2d6?
6 points of damage.
6. All right. And give me a roll on that, Mike.
I got a 12.
All right. And damage for that as well.
An 11.
And 11. Ooh, that's nasty. All right. So it's on fire in more than one place. So it's just like this giant forest fire ripping itself through the basin of the sand and rock on this small little island. You can hear almost like a screeching, creaking wail from this thing as it peels itself upward. On the top of the tower, you see that dude that blinked out of existence. He puts his hands up and kind of like almost like he's tossing down a beach ball or throwing a soccer ball back on a field. Booger and one of the dagger guys and also Rock Powers, give me a saving throw, please.
Failed saving throw.
Ooh, that's not good. Mike?
I got a 4.
Oh, you saved as well?
Yeah.
No, he didn't save.
Yeah, I got a 4 on my saving throw.
Oh, yeah, he didn't save. So you guys, you see this big honking tree. You look up, you see the dude. He says a couple of words, and he kind of like I said, like he's tossing a ball back into bounds. The world goes black. You can't see anything. You guys who can still see are you look, and it looks almost like there's like smoke hovering in front of their eyes.
Can I return fire because I haven't had my movement yet?
Yep.
All right, I'm throwing a Molotov cocktail, or excuse me, one of the napalms. I'm throwing it at the top of the tower since it wasn't a tall tower.
Go ahead and give me a roll.
All right, for my 2 hit, I got a natural 20.
Yeah, that's how you D&D.
Nice
Awesome,
going.
guys.
And that is 2D.
Natural 20, James.
2d10.
Yeah, great.
All right, 2D6 you said for the
Yeah, 2d6 for the flame.
I got 10.
All right. He screeches and backs away from the fire.
Does him being in pain have any effect on the magic he cast on our party?
Doesn't appear to be.
I'm running to try to grab both of the blind people and lead them to the boat.
Okay.
I will hold the rear guard action to keep the enemy at bay.
All right, you
You're
guys.
such a nice guy.
The flailing giant tree thing continues like slapping at itself to try and put out the flames. As that happens, it's almost like something yanks it back through. There's the sound of wood sliding across stone. There's splinters that explode everywhere and catch fire as this thing gets yanked back through the hole. And the one that's not on fire attempts to climb out to come get you guys. You guys are hauling ass toward the boat?
Yes.
I would really like to toss a grenade on the top of the tower.
Okay. Go ahead. Give me a grenade roll.
Thank you very much. I will. 9.
Is this another action, or is this the same one where I just went?
Same one where you just went.
Okay.
Grenades. Grenades for Master Sergeant. All right. So that would be your last frag grenade, correct?
I got 2 more in the bag.
You got 2 more in the bag? All right. All right. The what do you call it? You threw it at the top of the tower?
I wanted to lob it over so I could get it, because I assume I couldn't see him. Is that
You
correct?
can't see him. Yeah, he went to the center of the tower, so you couldn't see him.
Okay, so I'd lob it over into the tower top.
Right on. It hits the center of the tower and explodes. You don't see the effect of whether or not you got him or not, but you know the explosion went off and you hit the target.
Okay, thank you.
You guys managed to get on the boat and start rowing. The massive tree thing just claws its way out and starts slowly walking across the island toward where you guys are trying to escape from. You get to the boat and start climbing. It starts wading into the water after you.
I'm assuming this is being narrated because I'm blind.
Yes, yeah, you guys are being told what's up.
I will shout, even though bravely, because I'm blind. They're the leader. I will shout bravely for my cannon crews to open fire.
Ooh. Let's see.
How many cannons do we have? We picked up quite a few, right?
You picked up quite a few, but you're only able to mount 2 right now.
2's enough.
2 is enough. Lamb, your Frankenstein friend, Frankenbeans, on the boat. He presses in the first cannonball and fires. Loud explosion, lots of powder and smoke, but there is you hear the rocketing sound of the cannonball rend the air and fly by you, but it does not hit the target.
Wait a minute. They need powder now? I thought they were charged.
He didn't say you use powder.
No.
He said, okay.
Is there any chance that they have chain shot to use?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, that's something that people, what do you call it, were suggesting in the feed a little while ago.
Of course those geniuses were. Yes. Well done, boys.
So which of the blind ones, because we had 2 dinghies, remember, that we came over in, because Benny and I were in our own boat at the time.
Yep.
So which of the wounded people are in my dinghy?
I don't know. You guys tell me.
Well, I grabbed both of the blind wounded and I brought them to one boat.
There was 3 of them, wasn't there? There was 3 of them.
Blind too?
Yeah, there was a dagger that was blind too.
Okay, then all 3 of them and I are in one boat.
Okay.
I don't know who else is.
Am I close enough to toss my canteen to them?
Yeah, you guys would be close enough to do that.
I think I'm in that boat as well, because I'm not in the tree boat.
So are you going to toss it to one of the blind guys?
No, I'm going to toss it to somebody who's presumably rowing for them, since I doubt blind people these blind people are able to see well enough to not turn us in a circle, or them, since I'm in the other boat.
Yeah, they're kind
and I'm going to toss it to Lieutenant Espinoza and tell him it's the water from the grotto to heal them. And hopefully I will hit better than Nick's water bottle.
Yeah, really. What's the witch doing?
Apparently she is doing a whole bunch of chanting, and she is what do you call it? She is still on the beach. and so is the magic dude.
Well, then we wouldn't have left with them there. We
No,
would have
you
waited
can
on
take-
the boat.
priestess?
You can take the wounded ones away, and we'll hold our boat for the witch and the guy.
Yeah.
The what do you call it? The witch and the guy. It looks like she went back to kind of recover him and pull him back to the boat. So her buddy. The tree dude ignores them completely and just keeps walking.
All right.
Okay.
Well, while they're in the boat with us now, I'm going to hand her the water from the grotto, tell her she knows what to do, and then start putting some muscle into rowing that boat.
All right. So the first boat makes it to the rigging and gets onto
Good, good.
what do you call it? Gets onto the
Boarding
boat.
net.
Yes. Lamb is firing is getting ready to fire the second cannon. What are you as you're climbing, Nick? Your vision starts clearing.
Ooh,
Oh, good.
I'll never touch myself again. I lied.
It lasted all of 5 seconds.
Yes, it did. The same thing as you reach the boat, Wilbur. You deny the person reaching on screen, and then you start getting your vision back.
That sounds great.
Lamb goes to fire, and this time hits.
Yeah.
Everybody that is climbing or getting on the deck right now, just give me a saving throw.
Because the boat shook.
Made it.
17.
If the boats are rocking, don't
16.
come a knocking.
All right, so everybody manages to get on from the boat, rocking from the cannon going off. He hits the thing and knocks it completely flat into the water, and it's doing like that big giant thing where it's trying to gain it's slapping at the water, trying to right itself to get back up.
I want to man the second cannon and fire another one at it.
The crew is loading it by the time you guys get onto the ship. You want to take a turn at trying to fire this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Did anybody shout "Weigh anchor" and get the heck out of here?
Oh, they saw the tree. Then they weren't going to wait much longer.
Okay,
I rolled
good.
a 16.
All
What,
right.
what's the cannon's damage?
2d10.
Oh, wow.
What a
So both
pleasant
boats
amount
are-
of damage.
Both boats are back on the thingies, and crew are back on the boat.
I am so not good at dealing damage.
Uh-oh.
Total of 4.
Oh,
Now that kind of sucks, Rock.
you blow off some of the branches of where its head is, kind of giving it a haircut. But the cannonball descends and then splashes behind it.
I am so accurate, though.
The wave kind of gives it a hand in getting it up as you guys get underway.
Uh-huh.
What do you call it? She comes up on the deck, and she's like, "Is anybody hurt?"
I reward myself with a big drink from my new whiskey.
And everybody says no because their vision came back.
No, we got 2 people that are damaged.
She's like, "Are you dying? Will you die
No.
within the next minute?"
No.
She turns and starts gesturing. She's got some salt that she starts going like this and kind of like crushing into her hands. She blows the salt dust toward the water, and the water freezes over like kind of like those lakes we used to skate on as kids, arresting the forward movement of that tree.
Great. Now I have to like her.
The wind picks up, and you guys hear the snap of the sails, and the boat starts getting underway. She starts moving around, and to those who are like really badly hurt, she lets sip from Rick James's canteen. To those who are kind of just slightly wounded,
That's not a euphemism, is it?
No, I hope not.
Okay.
She actually calls Wilbur over, and she shows she takes her this solve, right, that's in a small case. She rubs her thumb into it, and then saying some words that are not able to be picked up by your translators, she starts rubbing the salve over like cuts and bruises, stab wounds, arrow wounds, and the wounds start closing on their own.
Do I understand, or do I think I can repeat those words that she said?
Yes, they sound coherent to you, even though you don't know what the language is. You guys,
I was down 7 points plus. I think I was poisoned. So.
all right, so she starts mixing up some herbs and stuff like that to handle you guys being poisoned. Captain Kilgosha wants to know, when is Benny going to walk the plank? Oh my God! So she gets everybody back to the center of the boat, and she says, "You guys have made some really powerful enemies today. This is not good."
It's what we do.
It's what we do. Yeah.
That's what happens when you have a sociopath who cuts heads and ears off.
Stop it.
It's just a hobby.
She
He
says,
could quit at any time.
"Do you have a plan of where you're going?
Yes, we're heading south.
Are you going to immediately go toward the item of interest, as it was told to me?"
We are.
She says, "We might be able to help you in this endeavor, because from my understanding, this artifact, isn't it underwater?"
Yes.
She's like, "We can help with this, but we'll need to make a stop first. We're going to have to trade with some of the locals."
Okay, we can do that.
She says, "What questions do you have of me, and how much of that water did we have left?"
Whatever was in the canteen that she was in possession of.
Yeah, I think that's it.
She says, "That is very unfortunate. We can actually cut that with other herbs and ingredients to make powerful elixirs that would allow you to heal your wounds. I just won't be able to make as much with what we have if this is all we had." And she kind of like holds it up, and you can kind of hear it sloshing around a little bit. But
Well, how many canteens would he have had on him? Because he would have filled both if he had to. Is it one on each hip, or
did you have a canteen, or did you have like a water bottle? Because modern
let me
troopers
check
don't carry canteens anymore.
am I showing my age? All right.
Yeah, what kind
okay.
of goofball carries 2 canteens?
That's what I was issued. It doesn't say on the gear.
Yeah, it'd probably be like a refillable water bottle, or like a Nalgene bottle or something like that.
It says waterproof bag ×2. Is that what that is?
No, that's like stuff to stuff your stuff into so that your stuff doesn't get wet.
Yeah, it doesn't specify. So we need a DM judgment.
What's that, CJ?
I said, well, it's the Air Force, so that should be a sippy cup.
I will call Sergeant Crowley over.
So we'll just take a judgment from you. If I had the hip canteens, the one each, then I have 2 of them. If not, that's what I had.
Yeah, all right. 1 bottle. Yep.
Dang it. I was hoping you'd go for 2.
Go ahead, J-Mac.
I'm listening intently to what this mostly drunken captain the orders he's going to give.
Well, first off, I'm going to tell him one of your men ruined our surprise and cost us casualties. What do you, as his leader, intend to do about that?
Ooh.
Well, I'd reprimand him, but didn't we leave him back on the island?
No.
He's still here. So now's that chance to reprimand him, give him some corrective action. We can flog him or we can keel haul him. Your choice.
Wait, are you talking about
Okay. Flogging and keel hogging is not legal in the current army that we are in.
Neither is the one that's makes it illegal to cut off heads and ears.
You could give him the choice. You could give him a choice, but you, as his leader, need to correct that action.
Okay, what about the fact that
That's interesting.
What about the fact that I took care of the witch? What about the fact that I killed a couple dudes?
Priestess.
Are we ignoring? No, she was a witch. Are we ignoring that? What about the bravery of me going first so that I could protect my captain? Let's ignore all of that.
Okay, let's ignore all that.
What about putting me up in front of a court so I can plead my cause?
Well, yeah.
I'm more curious
so
what
you know, in the
happens when you
UCMJ
keel haul a giant tree man.
In the UCMJ, I'm actually the court.
Yeah.
So Crowley, he's not a tree anymore. He's back to normal.
Oh, are both
Well-
JR and Benny normal now?
Yeah, we're as normal as we can be.
Yeah.
And Benny has his eyes back.
I do. Isn't that wonderful?
I wanted the pirate patch really bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys start continuing south. There's it looks
I like how I dodged that, by the way.
What's that?
Nothing at all.
It was totally fine. We're all fine now here. How are you?
How are you?
So you guys start moving south. She makes it known that you need to corral some people because the allies you're about to meet don't suffer fools well. She says that there's every possibility that if you're not on your best behavior, you could all die from dealing with these people that you got to deal with.
I better stay on the boat then.
And we want to thank everybody for coming out and sitting down with sci-fi writers playing old school D&D. What did you guys think of the session?
I thought it was fun today.
I loved it. I love fighting tree ents and killer wizards and secret grottos on little teeny tiny pirate islands. That's always the most fun.
Hell yeah.
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
And we'll catch you next time on Sci-Fi Writers Playing Old School D&D.